Hi everyone, how are you all doing? I hope that you all are doing fine. Hi everyone. So our lesson will be describing characters under the grade 4. First you have to log in using the aplusstudent.com. You click on your name, you move to language art grade 4 and the chapter is describing characters. So we have two lessons under use actions and dialogue to understand characters, show character emotions and traits. All right, so we will start now. Oh, yeah, welcome everyone. All right, so we have in a story, the characters, action, and dialogue can tell you what they are like and how they feel. All right, so for example, we have Maya's face turned bit red. Did anyone see that? She's startled. Now, when you talk about the describing characters, all right, so the action and the dialogue that is going on in the sentence, hi, can let you know or tell you what the characters are like or how they feel. All right, so just like this, you can see that it says that Maya's face turned beets red. Now, Maya is embarrassed. That's why she became red all of a sudden, right? You can tell because people often blush and startle when they are embarrassed. Yeah. So you kind of like get speechless and you miss your words, especially when you are embarrassed. So we have also Andrew was so scared, he was shaking. Still, he held his head high and walked onto the stage. Now, Andrew is brave. Now, this is telling you that Andrew is brave. You can tell because he goes on stage even though he is scared. So you can see that whatever action that is going on in the sentence, it at the end still gives you a summary. Just like with Andrew, he was shaking, but he still went on stage to do his presentation or something. So you see that it's helping you know like how they feel and what is going on in the sentence. So we also have a story usually shows what its characters are like and how they feel. Because we know that about the story, it tells us like a lot of information. That's what makes it fun. So without the extra information and knowing how the characters are like or how they feel, the story will be boring. So it helps us to like enjoy it more. So we also have here that when you write, try to use actions and dialogue to show these things about your character. So in case you want to write something, you need the actions and the dialogue. So we also have that doing so help bring your readers to life for bring your characters to life for the readers. So you also know that like I've said, if you want the story to be interesting, you have to describe what they look like, also how they act and what they say. So everything that the character is displaying there. For example, it could also be physical traits. So when we talk about physical traits, we just mean what they look like. Hi, it's okay. So when we talk about now the personality trait, it is how they behave. All right. So all these are necessary when you're describing characters in a story or something. Okay. Now for the physical trait, it could be like, for example, she has brown hair. Something like that. When we said her face is like beets red, that was when like she turned red. We could also say something like wear glasses. Then we could also have for the personality, we could have friendly, brave. Okay, so we could have all this when we describe a personality traits. Okay. So, for example, maybe you want to show that your character is embarrassed. Maya's face turned red and she ducked her head. Okay, so you can see that if you want to express or explain the embarrassment, you have some certain words or maybe description that you could give, you know? Maybe if you maybe makes it like longer and say she turned red, it's more interesting than just saying, oh, she was embarrassed. So you give us like a picture to imagine. All right. And then we also have, did everyone see that Maya startled? So you see that she's kind of like stammering, you know, she's not kind of fluent because maybe she's embarrassed, or this could happen when someone is embarrassed or shy. It depends. There's different situation that could make them startle like this. People often blush and stutter when they are embarrassed. Either of these sentences would help show the reader how Maya is feeling. So it just helps you understand better how she's feeling. It could be like embarrassment, or maybe she's just, shy or something. Okay, so that's it for like describing characters. When you're writing, you have to give like a clear description that could make your readers very interested in reading the story. So if you don't give like some certain description, then it gets boring. All right. So let's look at some examples here. We have. So we have Mitchell went treat or treating. We took candy bags this year. One was for her and one was for her friend Carmen, who was sick and had to stay home. Based on this sentence, what is Mitchell probably like? So you can say, okay, you have options. So from the options, you can decide. But this is her being very thoughtful because she knows that her friend has been sick and has to stay at home. So she took two bags, so that is what's describing Michelle's character, and she is a very thoughtful character. Okay, so as soon as the groups were announced, Trevor took charge. Maria and I will do the research, and Oscar can make the poster. Any questions? So, what do you think based on this sentence? How can you describe Trevor's character? You would say commanding because he just stood up and he's giving like maybe rules to everybody. You have to do this, you have to do that. So that is like a commanding character. So we're moving on to the test, and you know the drill. You have to send me your answers on the chat. Okay. So we have Carl kept jiggling his foot under the decks and glancing at the clock. Now, based on the sentence, how is Carl probably feeling? How do you think he's feeling? Because he's jiggling his foot and he's just looking at the clock. So, what do you think is the right answer for this sentence? So you can say that he is impatient, okay? Because his maybe behavior seem impatient, okay? So impatient. Thank you for your answer. So we have Joe pulled away from his mother's hug, his ears red. Based on the sentence, how is Joe probably feeling? Embarrassed or curious? What do you think? Pulling away from his mother's hug, his ears became red. So what's he feeling? Embarrassed or curious? So he felt embarrassed because his mom was hugging him, right? Okay, good. So when the alarm rang, Conan pressed snooze. For the fourth morning in a row, he thought, I will start exercising tomorrow instead. So, based on this sentence, what is Conan probably like? Lazy or unfriendly? How is he like? Okay, so he's lazy because he keeps turning off the alarm and procrastinating. So he's lazy. All right, good. So Tana pressed his palms together and closed his eyes. Please, please let it be me, he said. So, based on this sentence, how is Tana probably feeling? Hopeful or silly? What do you think? So, he's feeling hopeful, okay, because he's hoping it will be him. All right, good job. Reza was talking to him, but Paco got out his phone and began scrolling through his messages. So, based on the sentence, what is Paco probably like? What is he like? Wise or rude? So he's rude because he's pressing his phone while someone was talking to him. So we have the museum guide asks if someone would like the chance to pet the ball constructor. Cora was the only one who did that. So what do you think Cora is like? What's her character for willingly wanting to pet the ball constrictor? So we can say bold because she what? Decided that she wants to do it. So she's bold. So she's bold, okay? So Lucy had always wanted to see Europe, but she could never find anyone to go with her. So when she was 25, she started planning a trip on her own. So based on this sentence, what is Lucy probably like? So she's independent because she's planning the trip on her own, right? So independent. So when the lunch bell rang, Erin approached the new girl. Would you like to sit with us? She asked. So based on this sentence, what is Erin probably like? So she's friendly. Okay, good. Thank you for your answer. Okay. So Nate gripped his mother's hand so tightly that his knuckles turned white. Based on the sentence, how is Nate probably feeling? Afraid or pleased? So he was feeling afraid. That's why he was gripping his mother's hand. Eric felt his chest swell. Yes, that one's mine, he said, proud or uncertain. So, how did he feel? So how's he feeling here? So proud, right? All right, so you can complete this lesson if you haven't done it before. So make sure you complete this one. And we'll move on to the last lesson, which is show character emotions and traits. So we'll move on here. So make sure you complete the first one later if you haven't done it, okay? So we have you're writing a story about Kelvin who takes a dancing class. Choose the best description to show that Kelvin is graceful. So which of these would be the best description to show that Kelvin is graceful? So is it Kelvin caught up with Dana after class? She left this in there, he said, handed Dana her phone. Kelvin floated through the air as if weightless and landed softly on his toes. So which one is the right one that describes Kelvin as graceful? So which of these describes Kelvin as graceful? Yeah, you get me every day because I am your English tutor here. So of course you need to have me every day. So which one over here? So we can say this one. Kelvin floated through the air as if weightless. Okay. So you're writing a story about Rupert who sees a high wire act at the circus. Choose the best description to show that Rupert is amazed. Alright, so we have Rupert leaned forward in his seat, wide-eyed, and silently mouthed the word, "Wow." Rupert looked at the person sitting next to him and smirked. "Give me a break," he said. So which one shows that he is amazed? So we have option one that shows how amazed he is. He even had the expression "wow." So we have you writing a story about Debbie who is running a race. Choose the best description to show that Debbie is tough and determined. Debbie's chest burned from breathing so hard, but she ran on toward the finish line. Debbie breathed in the spring air as she took long, even strides down the track. So what is the one that shows that she's tough and determined? Okay, so we have the first one. Okay. So we also have you're writing a story about Haley, who is staying at a friend's cabin. Choose the best description to show that Haley is content. Haley gazed into the fireplace and pressed her feel into the thick carpet. It is so nice and warm in here, she said. Haley zipped up her coat and put her gloves on. Brrr, it looks ugly out here, she said with a shiver. So, which one shows that she's content? So, we have option one showing that she's totally okay with where she is. All right, so you're writing a story about Terrell who has a bee on his nose. Choose the best description to show that Terrell is calm. Terrell's mind raced. Please don't sting me, he thought. Terrell closed his eyes took and look took slow, even breaths. So what is the right one over here? So if we click on the first one is wrong because it says that Terry's mind raced and he said, please don't sting me, he thought. So he's not calm. But Terry closed his eyes and took slow, even breaths, meaning he is calm. Okay, so we have this one. We are writing a story about Shona, who is hiking in the mountains. Choose the best description to show that Shona is strong. So Shona stopped to rest again, setting her pack on the ground. This is too hard, she said. Shana was sweating under the heavy load of her pack, but she continued to hike. So, which of these shows that she is very strong? Alright, so the second shows how strong she is. So you're writing a story about Sarah, who is a new student. Choose the best description to show that Sarah is shy. Sarah buried her hands in her pocket and fixed her eyes on the floor. Sarah glanced at the clock. How was it not even noon yet? Signing, she rested her head on the desk. So, which one shows that Sarah is shy? So we have Shy. Okay. So you are writing a story about Preston who meets a new student. Choose the best description to show that Preston is mean. So Preston approached the new boy and warned, "Watch out for Oliver. He throws the ball really hard." Preston looked at the new boy and laughed. "That is the dumbest shirt I have ever seen," he said. So which one of these describes Preston as being mean? So we have option 2 showing that he's mean. All right, so you're writing a story about Vicky who is trying to study. Choose the best description to show that Vicky is on edge. Try as she might, Vicky could not block out the chatter. She slapped her desk and said, "Shh." Vicky buried her face in her hands and signed. Which one shows that Vicky is on edge? Edge just simply means that she's restless and she's not comfortable. So that's what the meaning of on edge is. All right, so that's it. All right, so I want you all to make sure that you complete this test if you haven't done this before. So make sure you finish this up later on. And after completing this, of course, you can do the final test. So finish this chapter in general, and then yes, you do the final test. So if you're doing the test and you still need more help after the live, you can click on this chat button here. There are tutors available there to help you, and you can get more help there. So in case you still need more help after this. Okay, so yeah, do you guys have any questions before we finish today, or no questions? Let me know if you have a question and I will answer your question.